People of the internet, RetroRaconteur here. Do you think I am wearing the correct shirt? Is this the appropriate house for me? We're about to find out in today's video. I know one of the things people can't wait for in Hogwarts Legacy is the sorting ceremony. We don't really know how it's going to work yet. Will there be some sort of quiz or will we just choose? That's kind of what the FAQ makes it sound like. It sounds like we're just going to pick the house that we want. Now, I'm sure many of you out there have already done the Pottermore quiz, but there are actually websites out there that have the entire list of Pottermore questions, which I think gives you an even better representation of your true house. Now, many of you in the comments have asked me my house before, and I've always said Gryffindor. I will tell you though, there was one time that I took a quiz and did not get Gryffindor. And Dumbledore even said he thinks that they sort too early. So I haven't taken one of these things in years, guys. So this is going to be really interesting to see, and I want you to be along for the ride as well. I'll be sure and link this quiz down in the description below so you can participate if you want. Let me know which house you get in the comments. Here we go. Okay, so there are 29 total questions. And as I said in the opening, guys, I haven't taken one of these things in a long time. So it'll be really interesting to see if my tendencies have changed. I don't know. So here we go. Number one here. Which of the following would you most hate people to call you? Ordinary, ignorant, cowardly, or selfish. So none of these are particularly great. If somebody calls me ordinary, that's not going to bother me too much. Ignorant, I don't really like being called ignorant, but if you really think about what ignorance really is, it just means that you're unaware of something. You're uninformed about something. So if you're ignorant about something, I feel like that's not that huge of an insult, even though sometimes it can sound like it. It's like, okay, well, I may be ignorant about it now, but I can change that. But man, cowardly is kind of in the lead. I really would not want anyone to call me cowardly.
Fight back! You coward, fight back!
When people call me selfish, I think sometimes that really helps me to kind of look inward and see, wow, maybe I actually was being selfish about this. Honestly though, like coward for me, that's the biggest insult. Number two, after you have died, what would you most like people to do when they hear your name? Miss you, but smile. Ask for more stories about your adventures. Think with admiration of you achievements. I think it means your achievements. I don't care what people think of me after I'm dead. It's what they think of me while I'm alive that counts. Well, definitely not the last one. I have always been very big on legacy. I want to leave something behind, whether it's a book, this YouTube channel, just the way that I treat people around me that lives on after I'm gone. Miss you, but smile. I mean, that's, I don't know. That one seems a little boring for me. It's going to be one of these two in the middle here. Ask for more stories about your adventures. Obviously, RetroRaconteur. I'm just a dad who loves games and the stories they tell. I'm very big on stories, and I do have quite a few of adventures. But then this number three is pretty appealing too. Think with admiration of your achievements. There's a part of me that says achievements, and then there's a part of me that says adventures. More stories about your adventures. Honestly, at this point in my life, I think I got to go with that one. My son loves hearing stories right now, so for one day for him to ask people tell me about the adventures Dad went on, that would be awesome. Or if he asked me, tell me about the adventures you went on. So I'm going to go with that one. All right, number three, given the choice, would you rather invent a potion that would guarantee you glory, wisdom, love, and power? Okay, this one is a very easy one for me. Right away, wisdom. And I know which house that's going toward. I don't care. I'm not trying not to think about that. The reason I say wisdom is because for someone who I think is truly wise, and that's the key, is like, how do you really define wisdom? I think for someone that is truly wise, they'll really be able to find all these other things in life. And if they don't find these other things, then they'll be more accepting of it, right? So maybe they won't achieve glory, but because of the wisdom they have, they'll be okay with that. Love, I already have love. If I didn't have love, then that one would be really, really close. Because it's asking if you would rather invent a potion. I think I would rather find love naturally. Power, I'm really not interested at all in power, so I'm going to go with wisdom here. Okay, number four, how would you like to be known to history? Ooh, I like this. Retro the wise, retro the good, retro the bold, retro the great. I mean, all these sound pretty nice to me, right? RetroRaconteur the wise, RetroRaconteur the good. I mean, Again, like, it's so obvious which house is which here. Okay, let's go through this one by one. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate good, even though I really do like that one. I think people could look at that and say, you know, good and great. Of course, I'd rather be great. But that really speaks to when they say good there, I think they're talking more about spreading good into the world. Whereas great would be more like kind of lifting yourself up, being propped on your achievements. And I already just answered one above saying that I'd love to have wisdom. So, you know, I wouldn't hate it if somebody remembered me as the wise. But how would I like to be known to history? The bold. Okay, now these are the ones that I love the most. These situational questions that like places you in an actual example. So number 5 here, you enter an enchanted garden. What would you be most curious to examine first? The silver-leafed tree bearing golden apples. The fat red toadstools that appear to be talking to each other. The bubbling pool in the depths of which something luminous is swirling, or the statue of an old wizard with a strangely twinkling eye. Which would I be most curious to examine first? Okay, so I'm trying to picture, I walk into this little garden here, and you see all these things. So you've got the bubbling pool, you've got the silver leaf tree, you've got the statue, you've got the fat red toadstools. I mean, my eyes are instantly going to be drawn to toadstools that are talking, right? I mean, that is by far the most interesting thing that you're going to see there. But if I really want to go up and examine, I don't know if I would want to go and examine them. Honestly, deep water like kind of freaks me out. So looking like down into a pool where I don't really know what's under there. This one's tough. This one's really tough. You know what? I'm just going to say statue of the old wizard. That's like what my gut instinct says, so I'm going to go with that one. What kind of instrument most pleases your ear? Violin, drums, piano, or trumpet? Again, this one I know the answer to right away, and I have no idea which one relates to the four houses, but for me, it is violin. I have always loved the sound of the violin. Okay, 4 boxes are placed before you. Which would you try and open? The small tortoiseshell box embellished with gold, inside which some small creatures seem to be squeaking. That one's instantly out. No, I don't want any creatures squeaking. Number 2, the gleaming jet black box with a silver lock and key marked with a mysterious rune that you know to be the mark of Merlin. Okay, that one's in the lead so far, no doubt. The ornate golden casket standing on clawed feet whose inscription warns that both secret knowledge and unbearable temptation lie within. No, I'm not opening a golden casket. Standing on clawed feet, no thank you. And last, the small pewter box, unassuming and plain, with a scratched message upon it that reads, "I open only for the worthy." Ooh, that one's actually pretty tempting to me. I can't lie. I open only for the worthy because there's that mystery. Like, am I worthy? But then there's the other side of me that's like, okay, well, if you're not worthy, what's happened? Are you going to be like cursed or something? So I'm going to go gleaming jet box with Merlin. 4 goblets are placed before you. Which would you choose to drink? The foaming, frothing, silvery liquid that sparkles as though containing ground diamonds. The smooth, thick, richly purple drink that gives off a delicious smell of chocolate and plums. Not that one. The golden liquid so bright that it hurts the eye and which makes sunspots dance all around the room. Probably that one so far. Or the last one, the mysterious black liquid that gleams like ink and gives off fumes that make you see strange visions. Nah, I'm staying away from that. Foaming, frothing. I don't really like foaming and frothing, so I guess I gotta go with the golden liquid here. Okay, moving on to number 9. Once every century, the flutterby bush produces flowers that adapt their scent to attract the unwary. If it lured you, it would smell of a crackling log fire, fresh parchment, home, or the sea. Oh man, this one's really tough because home, right? Like, home is one of those weird things because you don't know what your own house smells like until you go away for a while. You're visiting somebody and then you come back. And even then you only can smell it for just like a second. It's kind of like, what's that? And then it's gone. The sea, I don't love the smell of the sea, to be honest. And then fresh parchment, I'm going to go with a crackling log fire. Oh, I do. I definitely remember this question. A troll has gone berserk in the headmaster's study at Hogwarts. It is about to smash, crush, and tear several irreplaceable items and treasures, including a cure for dragonpox. Wow, this is a long sentence. Which the headmaster has nearly perfected. Student records going back 1,000 years, and a mysterious handwritten book full of strange runes, believed to have belonged to Merlin. In which order would you rescue these objects from the Trolls Club if you could? Okay, I'm just going to say, right off the bat here, Student records. A magic school should have some form of backup other than actually written down. I don't know, maybe in a pensive somewhere. You can't tell me that the written records are the only ones. So immediately for me, that one is going last. And it looks like some of these questions have left off the last one here because, wait, in which order would you rescue these? Okay, they just shortened down records. I see what happened here. So I think number one has got to be the Dragonpox cure. Of course, you really do not want to lose that cure. Number two, I would say Merlin's book because, very powerful wizard. There could be some incredibly valuable things in there that could also lead to more cures. And then last for me is certainly going to be the student records. So for me, that number one is actually what I'm going to go with there. 11, which would you rather be? Now, see, I love the questions like this that are more than 4 options because it doesn't just fit so neatly into Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Slytherin. Trusted, liked, imitated, praised, envied, or feared. Okay, another typo here, so maybe this isn't the best quiz. Hopefully it's actually accurate, though. I do like people to think of me as trusted. I do like to be liked. Imitated, that's an interesting one. I don't care if people imitate me or not. Praise, I really don't even care for praise all that much. Envied might surprise you. Envied is a little bit appealing to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's a little Slytherin there. Feared, I really don't care or want to be feared. So I think it's going to come down to trusted, liked, or envied. Man, do I want people to envy me? I mean, there's part of me that says yes, but then envy is such like a negative thing. Like that would mean there almost implies some jealousy there, and I really don't want that at all. So I guess it would come down to trusted or liked. You know what? I'm going to go with trusted. Okay, number 12 here. Which of the following do you find most difficult to deal with? Hunger, cold, loneliness, boredom, or being ignored? Dude, I am cold all the time, and that I'm just used to it. I mean, I don't really find it difficult to deal with. Just put on more layers or turn on a heater. Loneliness, that's an interesting one. We may come back to that one. Boredom, man, with 2 kids, a full-time job, playing video games, reading books, doing this YouTube channel, boredom is like not even close to being on my radar. So I think it's going to come down to loneliness or being ignored. I'm a little bit of an introvert though at times. Like I really enjoy my alone time. Like I get a lot of stuff done. Kind of goes hand in hand with the non-boredom. So I guess I would say being ignored. What are you most looking forward to learning at Hogwarts? Note, I'm allowed only 6 answer slots per question. If you don't like any of the answers here, click on none of these to vote on the second half of the answer choices. Okay, I see what it means here. So on this particular question, the way this quiz works, I guess they couldn't fit them all into one. So number 1, every area of magic that I can, apparition and disapparition, transfiguration, flying on a broomstick, hexes and jinxes, all about magical creatures and how to befriend, care for them, secrets about the castle, or none of these. I mean, this one's kind of obvious here, but I'm just going to say every area of magic that I can. And on this one, it says if I already voted in the last one, I put none of these here. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cop-out answer a little bit, but yeah, every answer. Or every answer. Every area of magic. If you could have any power, which would you choose? The power to read minds. That would be incredible, but heck no. I don't want that at all. The power of invisibility. That one's leading so far. Power of superhuman strength. Nah. Power to speak to animals. That'd be kind of cool. Power to change the past. Now, you talk about powerful. That is insanely powerful, but if I started meddling with that, I would be too afraid that it'd be like a butterfly effect situation where I would change one little thing and then like many years down the road, something else major happens that I would not want. So I don't think I would want that one at all. So I think it's going to come down to invisibility or change your appearance at will. I'm going to go change your appearance at will because that's basically as good as being invisible, right? I mean, if you can change your appearance at will, you could get into any building on the face of the earth that you wanted to get into by changing into the right person, I would think. Okay, 16 here, over halfway through. Which of the following would you most like to study? Here we go, same situation here, only allowed 6 slots to answer per question. Okay, area I would most like to study. Centaurs, goblins, merpeople, ghosts, vampires, werewolves, or trolls. Ooh. Okay. Vampires, no. Ghosts, no. Goblins, no. Centaurs, yes. Werewolves, I think, would probably be a close second, but trolls, no thank you. Okay, 18. One of your housemates has cheated in a Hogwarts exam. Oh, I love this one. By using a self-spelling quill. Now he has come top of the class in charms, beating you into second place. Professor Flitwick is suspicious of what happened. He draws you to one side after his lesson and asks you whether or not your classmate used a forbidden quill. What do you do? Lie and say you don't know, but hope that somebody else tells Professor Flitwick the truth? Nope, that's not going to be it for me. Tell Professor Flitwick that he ought to ask your classmate and resolve to tell your classmate that if he doesn't tell the truth, you will. 3. Tell Professor Flitwick the truth. If your classmate is prepared to win by cheating, he deserves to be found out. Also, as you are both in the same house, any points he loses will be regained by you for coming first in his place. And last, you would not wait to be asked to tell Professor Flitwick the truth. If you knew that somebody was using a forbidden quill, you would tell the teacher before the exam started. Okay, that's Hermione right there. That is definitely the Hermione answer. For me, it's going to be number 2 or number 3. I'm not going to lie. Like, I just, that's not in my nature. That's not who I am. I wouldn't lie about it. So I think if I was actually confronted by the teacher and the teacher said whether or not your classmate used a forbidden quill, like if I would have to be 100% sure. You guys are going to call me a rat now. Like, no, you rat, Retro. No, I would have to be 100% sure if I was absolutely sure that they used a forbidden quill. And the teacher asked me, oh man, but what if it's like your good friend though? Okay, now I'm second guessing this. Now I'm really second guessing this. There was a Boy Meets World episode that was somewhere close to this. You guys remember that episode? Oh, and Corey, like he didn't rat Sean out. Like he did not tell and he took the punishment instead. Oh man, I'm really having a hard time. Like, would I just go ahead and tell the truth? Because I think number 2 is probably the best answer as a friend, because ask a classmate and then you go to the classmate and say, hey, if you don't tell the truth, I'm going to have to go forward. Yeah, I'm going to do that one. I'm going to say number 2 here. All right, number 19. You and 2 friends need to cross a bridge guarded by a river troll who insists on fighting one of you before he will let all of you pass. Okay, do you, number 1, attempt to confuse the troll into letting all 3 of you pass without fighting? 2, suggest drawing lots to decide which of you will fight. 3, suggest that all 3 of you should fight without telling the troll, or volunteer to fight. Wow, there are actually, I think, 3 good answers here. Suggest drawing lots is not something I would do. Attempt to confuse the troll, that obviously makes a lot of sense. If you can avoid fighting in this situation, that would be ideal. Or suggest all 3 of you can fight. It's like, okay, let's not tell the troll, let's just take him out right here, all of us together. By far the most reasonable is to try and avoid the fight with the troll at all costs. Number 20, which road tempts you most? The wide, sunny, grassy lane, the narrow, dark, lantern-lit alley, the twisting, leaf-strewn paths through the woods, the cobbled street lined with ancient buildings. Without a doubt, for me, it's the cobbled street lined with ancient buildings. I love cobblestone, always have, and I can just picture these like massive buildings around me. That one, without a doubt. Which nightmare would frighten you most? Standing on top of something very high and realizing suddenly that there are no hand or footholds, nor any barrier to stop you falling. 2, an eye at the keyhole of the dark windowless room in which you are locked. Jeez. Waking up to find that neither of your friends nor your family have any idea who you are. Last, being forced to speak in such a silly voice that hardly anyone can understand you and everyone laughs at you. Okay, I don't care about that at all. I think that would be hilarious. Standing on top of something very high, I mean, I'm not too afraid of heights, so that one doesn't bother me. The eye at the keyhole, that would certainly be frightening, but waking up to find out that neither of your friends nor your family have any idea who you are, like, dude, that's truly terrifying. Like, if you actually believed it. I know it says nightmare, but if you know how it is in dreams, you feel like it's real, I gotta go with that one. Late at night, walking alone down the street, you hear a peculiar cry that you believe to have a magical source. Do you? Proceed with caution, keeping one hand on your concealed wand and an eye out for any disturbance. 2, draw your wand and try to discover the source of the noise. 3, draw your wand and stand your ground. 4, withdraw into the shadows to await developments while mentally reviewing the most appropriate defensive and offensive spells should trouble occur. Draw your wand. I definitely don't think I would try to discover the source of the noise. I'm not just going to stand there either, so that one's out. Withdraw into the shadows. No way. Like, I don't want to wait around for this thing. I think I would proceed with caution and then just, yeah, keep an eye out. That one, I think, is pretty simple for me. A muggle confronts you and says that they are sure you are a witch or wizard. Do you? Ask what makes them think so. Agree and ask whether they'd like a free sample of a jinx. Agree and walk away, leaving them to wonder whether you are bluffing. Tell them that you are worried about their mental health and offer to call a doctor. Ooh, ask them. Oh, okay. All right, I got to put myself in this situation here. Okay, I'm a wizard, and you're not supposed, like, part of the rules, being a wizard, you're not supposed to tell muggles, right? Ask what makes them think so. Agree and ask whether they'd like a free sample of a jinx. Definitely not going to do that one. So it's between 1 and 3 here. Agree and walk away, leaving them to wonder whether you're bluffing. Like, I kind of like that one, especially if it's somebody I don't know very well. I just think I would be like, of course I am, and just keep walking. Ask what makes them think so. Like, that leads to a whole nother, then this conversation is going to drag out. I think you get yourself into trouble there. So I'm just going to go with this option. All right, so it looks like all the rest of them are these toss-ups. And I'm just going to say, these drive me crazy. I do not like these at all. Personally, I don't see how they could determine which house you're in or like which trait. I mean, it's totally a toss-up, right? Like, my answer to these will change based on the day that I'm answering it or how I'm interpreting the question. So I'm caveating this before we see my final result here. I am caveating this by saying that, okay, dawn or dusk? Well, for me, I've always been a night owl, and I don't see that changing anytime soon, so I'm going to say dusk. Moon or stars? Like, what about moon or stars? Like, I don't know, stars. Forest or river? What about a river in a forest? You know what? Today, I'm feeling more foresty. I'm going to say forest. Black or white? Like, what? What is this? Again, this depends on the day that you're asking me. Like, when I think of black and white, I think of iPhone colors. Like, throughout the years, the different iPhones that I've owned, I feel like I always go back and forth. Like, sometimes I'll be like, oh man, I really want the black iPhone. Right now, I'm rocking a black iPhone. I'm going to go black. Heads or tails? Ooh. I mean, again, it's just 50-50. Like, how does this have anything whatsoever to do with your house? Today, I'm going to say tails. Left or right? I'm right-handed, so let's say right. All right, guys, here we go. The moment of truth. We are about to submit the answers. I really have no idea. Like, I feel like it's probably going to be Gryffindor with a chance of a Ravenclaw. So let's go ahead and submit and see what the results show. And there it is, you guys. Gryffindor with 89%. Wow, not even close, really. Ravenclaw coming in second at 46%. Slytherin actually in third at 40%. A lot closer to Ravenclaw than I expected, to be honest. And then Hufflepuff down at the bottom, 31%. Congratulations, you have been sorted into Gryffindor, the House of Bravery and Chivalry. You are amongst other Gryffindors, such as Harry Potter, Gryffindor. So there you go. That is the house that I will be choosing for Hogwarts Legacy. I know, it's cliche, but that's the one that came out on top for me. So let me know what you guys get. Make sure you let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so that helps more people on YouTube find it. And guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching. The channel has been growing like crazy lately. I really, really do appreciate your support. We're going to do something big when we hit 10K subs. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.